day. And welcome to Thfc Till I Die, your home of Tottenham, the world famous, greatest team in the world, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Yeah, from past, present, and future. And Kate's just ran off. She couldn't be bothered to wait for the end of the show. That's Kate gone. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, but joining me on this show that really the Spurs clear out and who needs to go. And Kate really did not need to be the first one to go. Bless her.
She's back in now.
Let's put you. Hang on. Let's get this right. Here we go. There we go. We've got it right now.
Your boy, girl.
Yeah. See,
you're back. You're back.
Anyway, guys, how are we all this evening? Are we looking forward to this show? And Ellie, good show this morning with the girl.
Yeah, it's really good. And myself and Kate, it's really good to have another lady on the channel with me, bouncing off each other. And, you know, we really got stuck in, didn't we, Kate? With all the good news coming out of Spurs.
More things coming along the way.
As well.
Yeah, Robert Villaharm. And his first name is Jan. So, like Jan Vertonghen. So, but he uses
Robert Jan. He's a bit like Colin Rodney after Dave, isn't
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Jan the Barn. Philip, how are you this afternoon?
Good.
In the Leitrim yet?
Sorry, no. I was watching the hurling this afternoon. There's in Galway and not Galway, Clare and Kilkenny. And after watching the Test match,
get your counties right.
Congratulations to England beating the Australians, which is always good. So no matter who beats them.
England.
Oh, yeah. So made the game of it. And so looking forward to this now. Interesting to know how much money we've been wasting on certain players for the last couple of years.
I suppose I better congratulate England on winning the under-21 championships. Well done.
Yeah, we did that last night. Oliver Skipp has a medal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Skipp does have a medal. And Kate, from Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs, how are you this evening, Kate? And thank you for coming on again. And very well done for this morning's show with Ellie. Nobody can hear Kate. Or we can't hear her.
Are you on mute, Kate?
I tell you what, Kate, log back in, log out, and log back in again. Right.
She'll be back.
She will be. She looks a little bit
frozen now.
She has that. Right, I'm going to take that off. Big up Tottenham Forever, Ryan. Big up Dermo, Mia, Ed, Phil, and Ellie. Oh, there she's back again. Can you hear us now, Kate? Nope, she's gone.
She's gone again.
Tail Cockrell, good evening, one and all. We've got Drew, and everyone. We've got Carl Simpson, big up, guys. Hope all is well. Everyone in the chat. We've got Dara, evening all. We've got Tequila 316, Robert Dub. Thanks for the grub. Big up Tequila. Wayne Bonner, good afternoon. Good evening, or afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Good evening, everyone. We've got Tail Cockrell news coming out of Wolfsburg as asking 40 million euros. Spurs do want to touch it.
I think that's been taken down since. I think that's been
and I did hear it. I said to you earlier, Philip.
Yeah. But a number of outlets had it now, so it was obviously bad news travels faster than good news, you know.
Yeah. We've got Corey Boy, hey. We've got Dragon D Nuts, big ups.
Yay.
Who else is in? We've got Jim, hi, Philip, Dermanelli, Kate, and Katie, and of course my fellow Spurs lovers. Kate's now moved to another part of the house, hopefully with better internet.
Looks like
Can you hear us, Kate?
Can you hear us? Oh dear. Right, I'll take her. Give us a wave if you can hear us.
Yeah.
No, let's see. Can we?
Well, it was working fine before the show, wasn't it?
It was. Do you want to give her a call, Ellie, just to see what's happening? Right, we'll take you out and we'll get you back in when you're back, Ellie. Okay. Right, we'll do that. So let them sort them out. Who else? We've got Jazz Fusion, evening, everyone. Simple. Start with Levy. We've got Phil Coys, evening all. Terry White, big up, everyone. We've got Mr. E. Narmbread. Who else we got in? Got loads of people in. Who else? I think that's it, Philip. Oh, Colin Turner. Good evening, good people. Good evening, Colin. How are you doing? And Jim, I will go and help Kate. All right, big up, Jim. So, Philip, look, Do you want to start the competition first, Philip? That's been drawn tomorrow.
Yeah, we've just closed off the money end of it as well, and we'll be drawing the winner tomorrow. But from the €2 entries, and there's obviously a number of free entries in there as well. We've raised in excess of €110, which might not sound a lot, but every charity deserves that. It was around the 50 to 55 entries for us, paid entries. So that money will be transferred over once the draw is made tomorrow, and I'll show the receipt up on, put a PDF of the receipt.
We might do it live, actually, Philip, to just show it's been done. I think that might be a way of doing it.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do it live on the screen, but I'll be able to show the receipt live on the screen.
Oh, yeah. Do that, We've got Mr. Who says, Thfc till I die. Hey, Dermatron, Philip and co on panel. Rude Rainbow and Zippy Top Gear is a classic. Yeah, it is. It is. If anybody knows what that means, it is on YouTube. It actually put me off Rainbow, which I loved as a kid. To see that, it is funny. It really is. Well, Philip, look, we're going to start with some breaking news. Of course, it's about our very famous striker, as Philip about to say, falls
off his chair again.
Yeah. Now, Bayern Munich have put in an 80 million bid plus add-ons, has gone in for Harry Kane. Daniel Levy, for what I'm reading, I'm going to redirect what I got. Daniel was ready for this, and from what for what I know, it seems like it's maybe rejected again. As we all know, he wants 100 million up front if you can get it. Look,
that's Sterling, Dermot. That's Sterling, is it? No,
that's Sterling. So that's 80 million sterling plus add-ons, which works out to be 110 million quid. What do you think?
That's a lot. That's a lot. Add-ons, 30 million, isn't it?
It is.
I would expect the add-on to be about 10 million or whatever, but he's probably going to reject it anyway. But he's got to be careful on this now, because Bayern Munich, I've read today, and the Bayern Munich are going to walk away from this unless it happens soon. So the nightmare scenario will be Bayern Munich walk away from it. Kane doesn't sign a new contract, and he goes off to Chelsea and Man United next summer for nothing, which I think would be a Sol Campbell thing times 20 if it happened.
Do you think he might get the same reaction as Sol Campbell? Or do you think it'd be different?
I don't know. It might not be as bad because Sol Campbell, told one thing and did another, which was unforgivable. But I do think he's gonna burn his boats with our Spurs fans if he goes to play for any of those teams.
Ellie, the latest breaking news: Bayern Munich have put in the £80 million plus add-on bid for Harry Kane. Look. This just keeps going on and on and on. Look, we got the meeting this week between Ange and Harry Kane. Look, we're going to start with him also on the players with his stats from last season as well. What needs to happen with this, Ellie? Because look, I'm getting fed up with this. Every day is another Harry Kane. You're on mute, Ellie. You're on mute.
Yeah, they did it a couple of seasons ago, and we were fed up with it then. And it's like on repeat now, and it's getting on everybody's nerves because all the chat is about Harry Kane, and we should be concentrating on getting our transfers in as well. So I know sometimes, your star player, you got to talk about him, but it's just getting a bit tiresome. And I just want it all resolved. But we have to wait now because they've given him time off until the 12th of July because he's our superstar. So he always comes back later than everybody else anyway.
Yeah.
That's right. Weird. They're flying out on the 13th.
Well, firstly, hang on, Philip. Can we hear you? Can you hear us? Hello. No, we can't hear you. This is like being at the Eurovision Song Contest,
She's
right?
Got mute. That's it.
Trying to get in for a country to give their points for the winning song. We still can't hear you.
Still.
Right. Okay, we'll take you out.
Here comes the cavalry.
Yeah. No, I don't know why you took. Hang on.
You're on your own now, don't you?
Yeah.
Who's touching what? That's all I want to know. Well, look, shall we start with Harry Kane? We might as well start with him.
Well, get him out of the way. Get him out of the way.
Harry Kane, he played 38 games He played 3,406 minutes played, 38 starts, 3 subbed off. Shots on target were 63, scored 30 goals. That's a conversion rate of 30%. Minutes per goal, 113.5 minutes per goal. Now, Philip, look, I'm going to start with you on this, and then I'll go to Ellie. Look, there's people saying Tottenham would be in a relegation battle if it wasn't for Harry Kane last season. There's people saying if he goes this summer, we're not going to get into Champions League, or we're going to be a poorer team without them. What is your, thing of his season last season, and where do you go with the argument that we won't go nowhere if he leaves this summer?
Kane was exceptional last season to score 30 goals in the Premiership in a misperforming Tottenham side. It was quite incredible, right? Whether we will struggle without him, we probably would have struggled a little bit. We wouldn't be relegation fodder like some people have said, because the likes of Richarlison would have stepped up to the mark. Players that we would have had Son, would have had players to step in and take his place. Anytime Kane was injured in the past, Son came through for him, so that wouldn't be any worry about that. Now, if he leaves, it's going to be hard to replace him. Like, we have Richarlison there to do it, who didn't really do much this season, so he's like a new player for us if Harry Kane leaves. So my thing about it, we've lost good players in the past. We've lost Gaza, we've lost Glenn Hoddle, we've lost Klinsmann, we lost Sheringham, Robbie Keane, players like that, and we've gone on with it. And the king is dead. Long live the king. That's all I say. We might suffer slightly short term. We won't suffer any long term damage, because I feel we've got a manager in now who will get an extra 10% out of a lot of the players, and that will be a huge difference for us next season. Yeah.
And Ellie, what's your thoughts on that? Look, look, just this question to you, Ellie. Do you accept the argument that we won't be anywhere without? Let me put Kate at the bottom there, then the comments so people can see it. Will we be anywhere without Harry Kane next season if he goes? Do you agree with that argument, or do you agree with Philip? Like, do you know what?
Listen,
no man's bigger than the club.
Yeah, I agree with that part, but we will be weaker because we'll be relying on, unless we get another striker that can score us a decent amount of goals to replace some of the goals that Kane's been scoring. We have got Maddison, and he'll create a lot of goals. I just feel that I think we'll be a lot weaker without him, so we should really be busting our gut to keep him. Because if we want to make that top 5 for Champions League, he's our best chance to get us there. Because he scores important goals. Although a lot of people say that he doesn't score in the big matches, he still scores a fair amount of important goals that have done very good for our club. So I just feel we'll be a lot weaker without him. So we should really be trying our best to keep him. But if he doesn't want to stay, like Philip says, long live the king. The king is dead, long live the king. Because we will go on. We're Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, and the Strasviation Derman needs new material. I actually do. This Harry Kane thing's getting worse. Now, Kate, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yay!
You know what? You're a bit like Apollo 13 stuck between Earth and the moon, right?
I'm moving around my house.
It's a bit like that film, right? When it goes, Houston, we've got a problem. It was like, say to Jim, I have a big problem here. And he says, what's that, my dear? My laptop's blown out the window. Where you very quickly on the Harry Kane, a new bid's gone in for him today, 80 million plus add-ons. He's got the meeting this week with Ange. Where do you see us being this time next week?
I'm probably in exactly the same position. I don't think any statement's going to come anytime soon. But I don't think Bayern will be his destination. I don't think it's competitive enough. I think he'll still be in next season, and I still think there's a chance that Ange will convince him to sign.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Philip, I know I cut you off. Sorry, what did you want to say?
I think Maddison could be a big factor in this. Harry Kane scored 30 goals last season when we had no creative midfielder. As Paul Merson keeps saying, and I agree with him for the first time in human history, He says, what damage will Harry Kane do with James Maddison providing the bullets for him?
Have you been drinking, Philip, today, by any chance?
No. Sure? I don't drink, Dermot.
You're agreeing with Paul Merson.
I told you for the first time ever, I'll probably never do it again. But I nearly fell off my chair when I saw that comment, you know.
It
could be, though. It could be. Maddison could be the key to all this. And Ange, of course. He hasn't met Ange. One thing that surprises me, just one thing before I finish. He's supposed to be coming back on the 12th, right? They're flying out to Australia on the 13th. Surely he's going to come back a little bit earlier than that to get things sorted.
Yeah.
You know, I heard the 10th now. You said the 12th. Who knows?
I think he's back tomorrow, Philip, actually, for what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all if he was back tomorrow.
Sense.
Colin says it would suit the team if this Sega didn't continue. It should be sorted out. It should be. We've got Wilton McDonald. Big up Wilton as well. Who else? We've got Next Level English. Big up as well. Thank you for dropping in. And we've got the one and only Mia from Spurs Between the Lines. Big up Mia as well. And I hope you've had a lovely weekend. Right.
Glamorous in that picture.
Right now, Mr. Hugo Lloris. He played 25 games. Now, these are only Premier League games. All right. These are not all competitions, right? 25 games played. He'd had 2,205 minutes played, 25 starts, 1 game he quit. I won't even call that a sub off. He quit. He put down his gloves. He fell on his ass twice against Newcastle. He has a save rate of 69.9 success rate, 7 clean sheets, 17 catches, 3 punches, 3 drops. And basically, the 22-23 campaign was one of his highs and lows for Hugo. In December, he led France to second successive World Cup final, only to be denied history by becoming the first skipper to lift the World Cup trophy twice since the Blues were beaten by Argentina in the shootout in the final. Qatar. He retired from international football after the tournament as France's most capped player and captain with 145 caps. Back at Spurs, Hugo made 31 appearances in all competitions, although injury ruled him out of the balloon the last match of the season. He wasn't injured, he quit. He made 11 of his last 30, taking his club tally to 447 into the top 10 for all-time appearance makers. Right, very quickly, guys, before we go into Hugo, Ellie, keep, sell, or keep or sell?
Sell.
Philip, keep or sell?
Well, I mean, this weekend it's been rumoured that both Inter Milan and PSG are interested in them, so I wouldn't give them away to either of those clubs. Sell
them. Kate, keep or sell?
Sell all day long.
Right. So, Ellie, look, I'll start with you. Okay. He's been a good servant for the club, but by God, he made some howlers this season. But he has been a loyal servant to Tottenham Hotspur. A, does he deserve a testimonial? And B, do you think he will be at our club next season, but as a backup? Or do you think we'll sell him this summer?
I saw him on the training ground and he seemed really happy. Like it seemed like he was part of the furniture again and he doesn't want to go anywhere. So it's sort of baffling in a way. But no, I think we should sell him and try... Well, we can't make any money off him, can we?
No.
I presume.
We can, yeah, we can. There's 1 year left in his contract, so we can sell him.
He has, right. Yeah. So that's good. Make a little bit of money off him. But he's been a fantastic servant. I'll take my hat off to Lloris because he's been a great goalie for us. And he's performed very well in crucial games as well. Like in that semi-final against Ajax, he played very well. And do you know what? I think his best game ever for Spurs was that Man United away game. It was absolutely fabulous in that game.
Is that the one we won 6-1?
No, not that one. When we lost 2-0.
How can he have a good game, Ellie, when we lost 2-0?
He played absolutely brilliant. I don't know if everybody recalls it, but if you recall it in the chat, I love that game for Lloris because he's brilliant. But having said that, he's made some clangers, real deep clangers, like throwing the ball in the net. That's sacrilege against Arsenal, right? But I think he does deserve a testimonial. We should really all be on him. He played over 300 games for us, and I think we have to say thank you to him.
Wayne Bonner says here, Philip, there'd be no point offering Hugo a new contract. He'd probably drop the pen. Look, a lot of people in the chat are saying goodbye, Hugo. Thank you for your services. Unfortunately for Hugo, he's poor defenders in front of him. Yeah. Where is it now? Other one. Andy Lloris needs to go. Been around during our most recent successful era. I wouldn't call it successful. We didn't win anything, but was part of a squad which couldn't get over the line. Refresh needed, deserves a testimonial. Tequila, Hugo, sell, though we won't get anything for him. Sell. So the majority of people in the chat, Philip, are saying Hugo needs to be sold.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
I agree.
We know PSG are looking at him for what we're hearing. What do you do with him? Do you give him a testimonial? Do you keep him around? He is our club captain without a new captain being announced. So what do you do with him this summer?
Testimonials seem to have become a thing of the past. I don't remember any player getting a testimonial recently, because most players don't stay at clubs long enough to get one. Even though we could, if PSG came in, I think we could get a few bob for him. But I think the kindest way to do it would be just to allow him go on a free transfer, and just cancel, let him go on a free transfer to wherever he goes. Yeah. And as regards to testimonial, I can't see Daniel Levy giving him one. I just can't. I just don't think that's. I don't think he's into doing that type of thing. Like, what other Spurs player? I know there's been benefit games done for players and at other grounds, basically. I remember there was one done there recently for who was it? Some Spurs player that got into hard times. Anyway, they had a testimonial for him at some other ground, and the legends turned up and played it. But I don't think giving testimonials isn't Daniel Levy's interest. Not interest in his rule book. Now, he probably deserves one, but you don't always get what you deserve in this life.
No, you don't. Kate, look, Hugo has been a good servant, but where do you think he'll be in the pecking order for next season? If he did say we've got Foster, we've got Venom now, and we've got Hugo. Do you think Hugo could be the third backup, just round there, just to help the U keeper coming in, help him? Pass on experience to him? Do you think that way he might be doing?
You gone
Hello?
again?
You gone again?
Kate, can you hear us?
She's frozen.
Is it me?
Yeah,
no.
It is you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Where do you think?
Sorry,
what will happen?
Can you hear me all right?
That's okay. Yeah, I can. Yeah. What do you think will happen to Hugo next season?
I don't think it. I think he'd be gone. We've got that young keeper who looks brilliant in training. Brandon Austin, is it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're breaking up again.
She's gone.
I think at 37 years of age, Hugo isn't going to hang around. He's either going to retire or have one or two last seasons in France or Italy or something like that. That'll be him. Well,
look, we're sort of on the same fence. So sell Hugo then. Hugo is gone. So we won't be keeping him.
Fundraising match was for a guy called Steve Jukes, the kit man.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what it was. Yeah.
Now, I want to go on to our favourite player. I mean, he's had an outstanding season. Player of the year, should have been player of the year for me. And if, he should be at NASA at this moment, getting ready to go to the moon. I'd be the first Spurs player.
Don't forget to bring his boots with him.
Yeah, he will. And it's, of course, the one and only Eric.
Sell. Don't waste any time on him. Sell.
Oh, right. Ellie, you
sent him to the furthest club away from Spurs.
Right, okay. These were his stats. 33 games played, 2,817 minutes played. How the hell he played that many minutes, I do not know. 31 starts, 1 sobbed off. Right, and he's been here 9 years.
Yeah.
9 seasons.
Fucking Jesus, we must be really desperate. In his 9th season here, Eric Dier made 42 appearances in all competitions, 40 starts, including another 33 for us in the Premier League. That took him up to 361 appearances in all competitions, taking him into our 25 all-time appearance makers, and 270 in the Premier League, now 5th of all time in the competition.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, where do we go with Eric Dier? I mean, Has anyone got anything good to say about him?
Yeah, he's a nice haircut. I think what I do with him, I would say, Eric, thank you so much for your service. Yeah. We've now signed players who can actually defend and do what they're getting paid for. Would you mind ever moving along and going off to play for Accrington Stanley or Thorpe or someone?
I mean, Eddie, look.
Accrington? Is it in Manchester? It's not far enough.
No.
Okay, out your Hebrides United then.
Yeah, out of Hebrides FC.
Look, Eddie, look. Let's be serious now. All jokes aside, he's been with us 9 years. He's got Mourinho liked him, Conte liked him, Nuno
didn't know who he was.
Didn't know who he liked. Who he didn't like. He liked Garden Gnomes, I know that. Ryan Mason loves him. I'm sure them two do something which he shouldn't be doing. Look, every manager's liked him, but we can always see he's a crap player. For example, Liverpool, when he headed the ball for them to score a goal. The game against Crystal Palace, when he came on for Longley, Palace nearly scored. Now, Carl Simpson says Dier keep. He still has a lot to offer. Now, Ellie, where should we put...
Carl's been sarcastic there now, is it?
Either that or he's been on the wacky backy. Right, Ellie, where does Eric Dier go next season? Does he go into the car park? Does it go into the show people to the seats? What job should we give him next season?
The thing is, right, he's well liked at the club, right? Because he's probably one of these goody two-shoes players and does everything that's asked of him in training. He's the ultimate professional, turns up on time, does his training session, gets on with it, gets on with the lads, likeable character. So I don't think he's going anywhere, I'm afraid, because if he was, we would have had him sold by now, I'd imagine. You know, and the pre-season tour starts on Wednesday, doesn't it? So I just can't see them getting rid of him. And it's such a shame because you see those stats, that's what's wrong with our football club. We're rewarding failure. Yeah.
And just very quickly, Philip, just to go, Lost Spurs. Sorry, I don't want to mess up your stream, so I bow out quietly.
No, that's a pity.
That's a bit. And this what she wants. What she was basically going to say: Austin should be promoted to the first team squad, and Lewis and Luis go. I agree.
That may well happen, you know.
Now,
regards Eric Dier.
Yeah.
Listen, now, all joking aside about the haircut and this, that, and the other, Ellie, I think you absolutely hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah,
I think Eric Dier will still be at the club next season. Now, that's not to mean he's going to be a regular starter. Hopefully, he's only a backup player. But as you said, every other manager's liked him. He said he still has a lot to offer Spurs. He may have impressed Ange. You can be sure Ange doesn't read all the social media. Not all of it, probably some of it. He probably knows the fans' feelings for him. But he'll judge Eric Dier on the way he's training at the moment. If that's the case, then I think he could well be a squad player for us next season.
Yeah,
hopefully not playing too much, but he could be there if needed.
Yeah, Jason Helm says, remember, he was an England starter for several years.
Up to 2 years ago. He was in the squad even last season, as far as I know.
Yeah. He went to the World Cup. Did he get a World Cup medal when England got third in the World Cup? Did he get a medal for that?
I don't know if they do or not. I don't know.
He may well have done, yeah.
Andrew Lloyd, ever since 17-18, bar the 2021 season, Dier hasn't been in the team when we have not ever since 17-18, bar the 2021 season, Dier has been in the team when we've been knocked out of the FA Cup. I did read that.
Yeah. I know it's a team game, but you know, his defending costs us a lot.
I mean, he moved. The only time I've seen him move quicker is when he went up the stands to go and punch somebody after he said something.
And we still lost that match as well.
I know.
That was against Norwich, wasn't it, in the cup?
It is.
You know what would be the ultimate tragedy is if they give him the captaincy. Bloody hell. I don't want to think about that. Sorry to put that in everybody's head because I think you're going to be vomiting soon.
I don't know what way to read that one of Carl Simpson's there.
Maybe Dier is the equivalent of a snake charmer.
He is.
But with managers, he gets his flute out and hypnotizes them into... Eric Dier, Derek Hodgson. Eric Dier is the ultimate crapper players. He is. Dier is too focused on developing his spotless app with his sister. 100% agree, Mia. Maybe Dier can tell good jokes.
Yeah.
I tell you, right, we'll put this into the chat. The funniest quote about Eric Dier will get comment of the chat. Comment of the show.
Get him in.
Okay.
Get him in.
Now, so Eric Dier, so we all agreed sell Eric Dier.
Sell, but don't think he will be. I think that's probably the best way of putting it.
Right, now, where do I go next now? Who do I bring up next now? Who shall go for next? I'd tell you
Give us someone controversial that we don't know whether they want to go or not.
Yeah. Right.
No, that one.
Well, we know what one vote is here anyway.
To be fair, everyone should know me and Nelly are massive Hoiberg fans. Yeah. I mean, I've gone on the record and saying that he should be captain. He should be the new captain. I've gone on to that. Philip disagrees with me. That will come up again in this conversation.
Only about the captain to captaincy part. I don't disagree with you about Hoiberg.
No, I know. But Hoiberg should be captain.
No.
He's a better captain than Harry Kane.
How do you know?
We'll get into that.
Have you been in the England dressing room lately?
He was Southampton's captain.
Not really. Yeah. I don't really want to go into the England dressing room. No, but
apparently the England team think he's the bee's knees as a captain. So, as I said, he can argue till the cows come home. The day Harry Kane leaves this club, then Hoiberg would be a good captain. But while Harry Kane is at the club, Harry Kane is captain, end of.
No, nope.
So that's my
Hoiberg for me for captain. But that's me and Philip. This is the only thing actually me and Philip disagree on, really, isn't it? To be fair.
Oh no, you want Wexford to win the All Ireland. I don't.
Yeah, but that's never going to happen. So look, this could be a bit more realistic. Anyway, he played 35 games last season, 3,133 minutes played, 35 starts, 2 subbed off. Hoiberg Perry has been constantly professional since arriving in North 17 and continued that in 22-23, where he featured in 44 of the 50 matches in all competitions, scoring 5 goals. That means he's now featured in 145 games out of a possible 161 matches since his debut at Everton on the opening day of the 2021 season. Look, Ellie, I'm going to start it off here. Look, for me, Hoiberg is like Marmite. Yeah. Some fans hate him, some fans like him, some fans love him. For whatever reason, he's very divisive in the fan base. Now, for me, he's the Danish warrior. He's the only one for me that when he played with Benny, he struck up such a great partnership with Benny last season. You can see in games where we're not playing well, he's the first one to go to the crowd to get the crowd going. He's the first one. He plays and plays and plays. We overplayed him, to be fair. I mean, that 145 out of 161 games. I mean, that shows how important he's been to us. And so, look, for me, I keep him from next season, have him in the squad. He's very professional. He's very... he doesn't get into any trouble. He plays his game right. For me, Hoiberg should be kept in the squad. And I'm going to disagree with him. I think he should be captain. A midfielder should be the captain of your football team. Not a defender, not a goalkeeper, not a striker. A midfielder who's in the middle, who can see both what's happening behind him and up front. So that's my view. But for me, I would keep Hoiberg as a squad player next season. Look, I'm going to go to Philip next, Ellie, and let you have the last word on Hoiberg because I know what I'm going to say. Yeah. So, Philip, where do you go? Keep, sell? Or what do you do?
I'll keep him. You hear various stories coming out that Ange fancies Basuma in Hoiberg's role. Because let's face it, we're going to have one less in midfield this season, probably the way things are going, I keep him, certainly, yeah. Again, I'm not going into the captaincy again. It's been well documented what you think and what I think. We'll see if Kane leaves, who he makes captain, right? But yes, keep him because, I mean, he's been Mr. Consistency for us. Okay, he's not a genius of a footballer. He's a very good, solid footballer. And I honestly think his best role is slightly further forward, where he plays for Denmark. But I don't think we'll be using him in that role here. But yeah, if you want someone in the club that you go into the trenches with, go over the top with, Hoiberg will be the man. You know, he's a good guy to have around the club.
Yeah,
and he is though, isn't he, Ellie? He's that one, as Philip says. When you're really stuck, he's the man who'll get in the trenches with you.
Yeah,
isn't he?
Yeah. See, with Hoiberg, he splits the fan base because he's not the most eloquent of footballers, and he takes his time on the ball, right? So under this new regime with Postecoglou, he'll have to speed up his game. But the thing is, he is fast because I was checking his running stats, and he's one of our fastest players in the team. We've got a bunch of slow coaches actually in our team. We haven't really got anybody with, you know, only Porro, I think, is probably the fastest off the blocks. Yeah. So he's got that attribute to his game. And like Philip said, his best work is done when he plays more forward. I think you actually said that, Dermot, when he plays for Denmark up front. More link play. Because I saw him in his last Denmark game and he created the goal. And he was right. He was actually on the wing when he created it. So he's a very versatile player. He's a good player to have in the squad. Just put it that way. And if Ange needs somebody to come on, right, if he's not going to play him from the start, you can rely on Hoiberg. He'll give you. He does what it says on the tin. That's what Hoiberg does. Yeah.
Look, we've got a few here. Jazz Fusion, Tanguy for captain, settled. There you go. We've got Ben saying big up Ben from the coffee company.
Hi,
big
Ben.
up Ben. Hope you're doing all right. So
he
says Hoiberg is slow, not brilliant technically, and falls over too much. He's the total opposite of an Ange midfielder. I don't.
That's what we have been hearing. He doesn't fit in.
That's where people get it wrong. He's not slow. He's one of the fastest in our team.
I actually will back a belly.
The thing is,
he's not
he
slow.
might be maybe Ben saying he's slow on the ball, you know, because he takes his time. Yeah.
Jason says sell Hoiberg, not minimizing his services, an exceptional effort for this club. He's just not good enough. Very basic in terms of what he has to offer. Very limited talent wise. Well, that you know, I can understand people saying that. I get what people are saying.
His passing's the best in the team. He's even got better stats than Harry Kane.
Yeah, I mean, some of the passes, he put one pass, didn't he, Ellie, for Harry Kane scored this year, a 60, 70-yard pass, and it was straight into him. Not for me, Mayor says Philip, not captain, doesn't suit Ange's system. Also, Wilt McDonald, Philip, and Ellie says Hoiberg has been a model of consistency since his arrival. But the question now is, will he fit in an Ange system? Other than that, I would keep him. Will he fit in the system from Ange, Philip?
Well, I'll tell you, until we see the friendly against West Ham on the 17th or the 18th of this month, I think we won't have the answer to that question because we just don't know what styles Ange is going to play. We know what style we hope he plays in, but actually, if he can transmit that to the players in the short time he has them, it'll be very interesting to see what happens there. But I'd say I won't have watched the pre-season friendly with such interest as this West Ham game because it just shows you what the future is going to be like for Spurs.
Yeah,
how we play
and that game is only on Spurs Play, I think, isn't it?
Oh, and I cancelled the bloody thing yesterday.
I know, I did think of that today. I was going to break.
That was just made a gesture. I wasn't paying them the extra without being told about it. Anyway, I might get it back.
I'd like to answer Ben's question about Bissouma being better than Hoiberg. Yes, he is better than him.
Oh, sorry.
But he hasn't shown it. He hasn't shown it at Spurs. So the Bissouma at Brighton, if we can have that Bissouma, because I saw him against Crystal Palace, and he just didn't boss the midfield. He didn't. So we need to get that Bissouma back, the one that played for Brighton. Then I would agree with you, Ben. Yes, he is far superior in that position.
Big up Phil. He says, sell for me, get 35 million from and go and get Alex Scott or Calvin Phillips. Yeah, that's a very good point. Very good two players. In this system, he would have to play as an 8, but they would have better available. So get all your football streamed through Yellow TV. Oh, okay. There you go, Philip.
Yeah. That's a free site, yeah?
Yeah, and you said he hasn't had a chance to so yet. Hoiberg said Tottenham LSG has never bossed the midfield. A lot of people saying the two-man central midfield killed Bissouma's season. and then Andy Lloyd. To be fair, Basuma, he came into a failing, inconsistent team, then got injured. With time, I think he'll become our main midfielder. He will be.
I will never put Basuma down because he's a fabulous player.
Don't worry about it, Kate. It is fine. Look, these things happen. Ellie's had them. I've had technical issues. It's fine. Yeah. Don't worry about it at all. Nothing to stress about as well.
No, don't worry. We'll have her back in the next time.
Yeah, we will.
I mean, I just have to looking up Yalla TV there. Look at Yalla TV.
All right.
Follow those instructions.
In Arabic. You have to do Google Translate.
I know.
Mia says he hasn't had a chance to show it at Spurs, though.
Yeah, that is true.
Basuma, no.
Basuma will be our best. Will be our best player this season. Other than Kane the Son, he will be excellent after his bout of long COVID. Yeah, that is so true. Very quickly, guys, we're just going to go through these. Lo Celso, he made 19 appearances. He's been out on loan to Villarreal for 2023 season. Very quickly, buy or sell, keep or sell Lo Celso.
I hear he's not the best of influences in the dressing room, and for that reason alone, because I feel there is a player in there, I would sell him.
Ellie?
Yeah, I would sell him because he didn't hit the ground running with us, and then he's been a disappointment ever since. So he's only had a couple of games good here or there. Yeah, so yeah, sell him.
So him go, and then the other player, of course, has been out on loan. Of course, his contract expires in 2024. Is Mr. Burger King himself, Tanguy Ndombele. His skillful midfielder featured 18 times in all competitions, 21-22, taking his standing to 91 appearances and 10 goals in all competitions. But he joined Napoli on loan for the 22-23 season, guys. Look, he's a very decisive figure, Ndombele. Look, there's people saying he needs to go. There's people saying that Ange might give him a chance. What do you think? Well, I'll start with you in this, Philip. What do you think is going to happen to him this year? Do you think he could be an Ange player?
I think Ange is going to give him a chance because we're supposedly turned down 20 million from Napoli for him. And I think if that had happened under Conte's time, he would have snapped their hand off for it. But that hasn't happened. So it leads me to believe there's been a change of talk. Like you saw what Stellini said about him the other day there. This guy's got more skill in his little finger than most players have on their whole body. If he just had the application to use it and wasn't so bloody lazy. So I think if he knows he's on last chance saloon, I saw the wages he's on at Tottenham and they're absolutely obscene.
Yeah, we're going to go on that at the end, Philip. So
yeah,
we
I'm
will
just saying, I won't mention the figure
Mm-hmm.
now. But, you know, he owes us one. He owes us one. He's been stealing a living with Spurs for the last while. Been out on loan, not even playing regularly for Napoli. So I think, well, let's see how he goes. He'll either be one of the great surprises of the season or one of the great I told you so's of the season. I'll have to wait and see which is which.
Now, Ellie, look, we've seen him how he got out of the car when the players came back. He moved slower than a snail. Me and Philip have actually said, we wonder what's under his hat when he's training. Can you see him making an impact this season? Can you see Ange looking at him thinking, do you know what? I might get something out of him. And Ange actually getting something out of him. But does his commitment sort of rule all that out for you?
I think he's got this nonchalant style, hasn't he? He's like a lazy. His body doesn't move very quickly, and he just doesn't seem interested most of the time. But he's got so much talent, the boy. I just don't think Ange is going to trust him to start. I think what he'll do, in pre-season, he might start him for one game just to see how he goes. But I don't think you can put your trust in Tanguy because he will go missing in matches, that's for sure. Regardless of what he says, when he gets out on that pitch, he doesn't deliver. And I've not seen any evidence that he's going to do brilliant things, you know. The only thing I can say is if Ange does it, it'll be a bloody miracle because that guy, he just hasn't got the application to go on that pitch for 90 minutes and slog his guts out. So I think he's going to be one of these super sub players.
Yeah,
you know, like Steve McManaman was for Liverpool. That sort of player. You know, all right, Steve McManaman was faster than him, but it doesn't matter. The main thing is, I just don't think Ange is going to trust him to put him in his starting 11. That's my opinion anyway.
I think Ange will wait until he'll give him a chance in the pre-season friendlies.
Yeah.
And make up his mind. And if he doesn't cut the mustard by the end of August, he'll probably sell him. You'll know by then whether he's going to make it or not. With enough matches between now and the end of the transfer window to make up his mind.
Sorry, Philip, I didn't mean to cut over you.
No, go on.
When does the transfer window shut?
What's that?
When does the transfer window shut?
31st of August.
31st of August, right.
Or 1st of September, around that time.
We've got a bit of time to. Well, Ange has got a bit of time.
He's 3 or 4. He's all the pre-season and 3 or 4 league matches to prove himself.
Yeah.
Right. If you are enjoying this, please hit the like button, subscription button. Pick up your memberships. They're only $2.99. And also, if you want to get ahead of the crowd, please put in the super chat. It does help. Helps us grow. It helps us get new stuff for the channel. We're getting new graphics in for next season and for new graphics and new scoreboards. And so all little helps. We know it's tough out there. So your comments will be read out, and we always bring up your comments up here. But it does help if you can. So every little helps. We'll say big up to Richie. He says, evening on 63. And Evertonians come in. We've got Meta Football TV. He's not lazy. He needs to feel protected and loved, and could be a personal family issue from youth. I've got Drula said, Ndombele looking good in training. He is actually, for what I'm seeing. We've got Jason saying he'll work out until he doesn't. That's all you need to know. That's all you can bet on him. You just never know. Yeah. We've got to put a burger in the opposition's goal.
Hang on from the crossbar.
Ben is saying Ange wants players who work hard. He will never do it. But look,
that's the worry, isn't
it? Look, is he one of these players that you sort of got to give a little bit leeway to?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll go back to when Glenn Hoddle broke through into the England team, right? Glenn Hoddle was regarded as a luxury player and didn't play half as many times as England as he should have done because of his skill levels. Yeah. Because he wasn't tracking back, or perhaps he wasn't a grafter, he got kind of. There was no doubting his skill, as there's no doubting in Ndombele's skill, but he just didn't get the number of caps he should have done for England, and that was the reason, because he wasn't a grafter. He got a reputation for not being a grafter. Now, I never saw not being a grafter, so that's what's probably going to happen to Ndombele. Give a dog a bad name; it's very hard to get rid of it, and he has a bad name at the moment.
Didn't Plantini said if he played in the French squad, he would have got over 100 caps?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Because he got 53 caps for England. Yeah. That's
when you think about it, 53 caps. 50. I think Eric Dier has 47 caps for England.
Yeah.
And then Hoddle only got 53. Now work that one out. There's something wrong there.
No.
So where are we on Ndombele? Keep, sell, or loan?
Keep for now. Yeah. With an option to sell later on the transfer window.
Ellie, keep, sell, or loan?
Do you know what? I'm going to say sell, because I just don't think he's got he can be fantastic in training. We've all seen it before. He's fantastic in training. His work ethic in training is brilliant. When it comes to match day, he loses interest. If he's not dominating the game as well, it's like a spoilt baby. He just doesn't want to participate. He throws his toys out the pram and doesn't give enough to the team. So I'd say sell.
Look, for me, I'm going to say loan and keep him just in case if we need him, if we get an injury crisis and that. If not, then loan him. But that's I'd see this season and then see where we go from there. Just quick comments. We've got one here from Jason Helms. He says, I wish we could add either his talent to Hoiberg or add Hoiberg's attitude to Ndombele. What the other is lacking, the other has bags off. And that is true. That's so true, actually.
The nail on the head there.
That's a very good point. We've got you says when he came on for Napoli, he played well. Ange works players hard and always makes substitutions in the second half. Maybe Ndombele could be one of those subs.
Yeah,
it could be.
That's what I'm saying. That's why these pre-seasons are so important. To see what way he's going to structure the team.
Meta Football said he was more than good at Napoli, and he did play well at Napoli for what I saw.
But he never got a regular starting lineup. He was always coming as a sub.
Yeah, but the games he played, he did play well. That's the point. I think he's making
okay. If we can afford to have a player that can bring on and play, if he plays good for 20 minutes every game and gets us a goal or two, fair enough. You know, and that's the way Ange plays his teams. He brings on the subs. So you know,
we've got your favourite person in the chat, Philip. Okay, vote for me. I may command Perisic and Balogun to sign for Spurs on free.
Let me see. If you promised us Mbappe, Messi, Ronaldo, and Pele on a free transfer, I still wouldn't vote for you.
I'll tell you, good job of getting Pele to come and play for us, Philip.
Yeah, I don't think that one's a goer.
No, I don't think so.
You never know, Daniel Levy may try.
There's more chance of Pele playing for some Donald Trump being re-elected anyway. So
anyway, well, Mr. Trump, thank you for watching, and that's all I'm going to say on that. Perisic went to Milan.
Yeah, he did.
Elta Cockrell, too many players morph at a club. We just not have players that are good all around. No, that's true. Mm-hmm. Currently, Pele moves faster than Dier. Okay. Lee Richards says if Hoddle had been Brazilian or Dutch, he would have had at least 100 caps. Sadly, he played in the era in England where work rate took priority over skill. Yeah. That's why donkeys like Kenny Sampson got so many caps.
Yeah, Glenn Hoddle in the present England setup will be an absolute first name on the team sheet.
Yeah,
after Harry Kane.
You says Ange will decide. Everyone said that he'll suppose Ange's decision, but if it's a player we don't like Ramon. Actually, it's a very good point actually on that.
Yeah, but I suppose we have to give everybody a chance now to see how they get on under him. You know,
right? So next player we're going to go to. There's only 2 or 3 left now. Is Bambi on ice, as I like to call him. Davinson Sanchez. He played 18 games last season, 852 minutes, 8 starts, 8 subs. That's supposed to be, not starts, by the way. Davinson Sanchez made 12 starts in all competitions in the 22-23 season, 8 in the Premier League. He has racked up 23 appearances in all competitions. That took him past the 200 appearance milestone for the club and moved on to 205 appearances in all competitions by the end of 22-23. Look, I'm not going to spend too long on him, basically, guys. Ellie, buy, sell, keep?
Definitely sell. Atrocious defender.
Yeah. Philip, sell or keep?
Put him walking up and down the high road with a for sale sign around his neck.
Okay. So you're going for sale then?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, I think he's awful. So that's as much as we're going to talk about Davinson Sanchez. Now, we got rid of him as well because we've talked about him. Now we're down to our last 3 players here. Now, where do I go now? Who do I pick next? Let's pick this. Let's do this, Philip. The wages. Yeah. Now, before we go to our last 3 players, Oliver Skipp, Perisic, and Segi. Now, Tottenham Hotspur current yearly wage bill, right, Philip, stands at £120,339,440.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, that's a year. Now, that is gobsmacking, but these are some of the wages now, the players that we've got in here. Ben Davies was supposed to be in this, but I couldn't fit him in. Harry Kane's on the week.
Davies is there.
I know, but I couldn't fit him into his PDF.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Harry Kane weekly wage $200,000 a week. It's an annual yearly salary of 10.4 million. Perisic now, who we're going to go to next now, why I brought this up was he's on £178,269 a week. That's an annual salary of £9.2 million. Philip, look, we'll bring Perisic up now. 34 games played, 2,109 minutes, 23 starts, 13 subs off, and his contract expires in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Look, where do we go with this? I mean, he's on an awful lot of money a week. Is this a player we definitely have to get off our wage book?
Yeah, let him go. He wants to go back to Croatia, the Hajduk split. So let him go. I mean, that's a massive amount of money off the wage bill. Just to give an example, the players that we've discussed as wanting them out of the club at the moment, Now, give or take $1 million or $2 million, the annual wage bill for those players we mentioned so far, plus Sessegnon and who's the other one you mentioned? Who's the other one that's got to come out apart from Perisic?
Skippy and Segi.
Skippy, yeah. Their wage bill is just a few bob short of 35 million a year. So we get rid of all those players, fringe players that we've discussed tonight, and we get rid of 35 million off our wage bill. Okay, it'll be replaced by the players that are coming in, but it's a huge saving. And 180 grand a week for Perisic, I think we can well put that elsewhere to a younger player.
Yeah.
Although Perisic was great on the assists this season, I have to say, he just didn't deliver as many goals as we thought he would.
No. Ellie, where are you on Perisic? Is he a player you want to keep around for next season, or is he a player you desperately want to get off the wage bill?
The thing is, his wages are really high, so I'm sort of torn because I like what he can offer the team off the bench, because he's got pinpoint passing. And like if your Joji's struggling, he could be like a good mentor for him as well, because he's been there and done it. So it's very nice to have a player of experience in your dressing room, someone that you look up to as well. So I think he's worth keeping around, but maybe see his agent and lower his wages because he's going to be on the bench. I don't see that happening. But being serious, I think he'll be useful off the bench.
Do you really think so?
Yeah, because I think his crossing and his corner taking they're fabulous. We could have scored a lot more goals as well.
But there is Manor Solomon in that role. We're going to have Manor Solomon in that role next season, probably.
Yeah, true. But it's nice to have someone with experience coming off the bench when you need them, just as a squad player.
Did you see the latest rumour this evening that we're supposed to be after Cucurella from Chelsea? Also, Romero can play with his hair every time during training. I mean, that one I find hard to believe. That one I find hard to believe.
I think he'll go to the barbers.
No, well, look. For me, Perisic needs to go. He wants to go anyway. He wants to leave the club. He wants to go back to Croatia.
Yeah.
So look,
cancel his contract. Didn't tear up his contract. Say mutually agree to let him go back. He's 1 year.
I mean, look, these are some of the contracts here. Ndombele's 2024, Hoiberg's 25, Sanchez is next season, the end of next season. Perisic is coming into the last year of his contract. Hugo's coming into the last year of his contract. Reguilón is 2025, Tantanga is 2025, and Joe Rodon's 2025. And we still haven't mentioned Ben Davies and Joe Rodon yet. I mean, what do you do with them two players, guys? I mean, do they go? Do you sell the pair of them?
Ben Davies only signed a 3-year contract last season, so he'll probably stay. Good squad player. I don't have any problem with Davies staying at the club. Rodon will go, although Rodon's on very low wages. Joe Rodon's only on $500,000, only on 10 grand a week, which is buttons for the Premiership, really.
Yeah.
Look, I look. So where are we on Perisic? Keep, sell, or loan?
I'm going to let him back. Let him go. Just release him. Yeah. Please release me. Tom Jones.
You dug yourself into that. I didn't have to say anything.
That's Engelbert Humperdinck. Sorry, I forgot. It's not Tom Jones.
Yeah. Regardless if he wants to go and he wants to go to Hajduk Split, I would still try and persuade him to stay just for that, because he's crossing and he's passing immaculate. If we'd been quicker from the midfield as well to get the ball to him, he would have caused even more damage.
But at his age, he'd be 35 next. He'd be 35 at the end of his contract.
Yeah, I know. That's going you play him as a squad player. You wouldn't play him as a first teamer. No way.
I mean, Meta Football TV put here, a lot of players have been crucified by managers and now by fans. They haven't forgotten how to play football. They need structure and get their confidence back. Do you think a lot of our squad has just lacked confidence because of Conte, Mourinho, the type of what we've been doing for the last 4 years?
Well, look at what Carlson came out and said yesterday about Conte giving out to him for 2 straight hours in front of the whole squad. If that isn't a morale sapper, I don't know what is. So I think, Ange has got to put his arm around a lot of these players and say, listen, lads, forget about what happened under Conte. You're under me now, and I'll get you back to what you were doing before. And that's why I think, that's why I was so confident are so bubbly for next season that he will do a job on players that underperformed last season and get them up to their standard again.
Yeah, I agree with you, Philip, but I also think that there's some players that they just don't know how to play football in our team. There's a couple, right? There's
the
couple.
Ones we mentioned, I'm leaving them out because hopefully they're gone.
The rest can be worked on, but Sanchez and Dier, I think they're a lost cause because Dier just can't control the ball. His passing's atrocious. So I mean, you can coach, but what? How are you going to teach him how to pass the ball, how to control the ball, especially when it's coming at pace with him 1-2s? He's going to find that very difficult.
Yeah. If there's anybody from Saudi Arabia watching this, Eric Dier is a brilliant player. I mean, he really could do very well in your league. So all we want is we'll take 50 million for him. If that's a bargain compared to what you've been paying for some of the players.
He's very loyal. He's a very loyal player, and he speaks many languages.
Yeah.
Anyway,
he's fluent in Arabic.
Anyway, listen, we've come up the last two players now. Ryan said we won't spend too long on these. Actually,
that's Tanganga.
As this Tanganga, I know I've just realised what I've done again.
Yeah, it's okay.
Mind you, I don't think they've noticed. Neither of them have played too much. We don't even know what
I was up at 3 o'clock this morning doing this, so give me a little bit of leeway. Anyway, he played Ryan second. Well, I'll take him off. Actually, I'm not even going to go through that.
Sessegnon is a sell anyway. He's never going to make it. I don't think.
Okay. Oliver Skipp. This was the sort of joker in the pack.
He looks right fit up there.
I know, because he was last. Bless him. Anyway, Oliver Skipp, 23 games played, 1,494 minutes played, 18 starts, 10 games he was subbed off. Let me take him away. However, injury again played its part in Skippy's campaign for last season, and until he recovered from a nagging pubis injury that required surgery, the midfielder was then laid low by a foot problem that picked up on a pre-season tour of Korea. That kept him out to early October, and it wasn't until Newcastle at home on the 23rd of October that he made his first start since January. Nevertheless, Skippy grew back into the side following injury to Bentancur in February. Started 17 of our last 18 matches in all competitions, taking his tally to 31 appearances in last season and 82 in his Spurs career. Those stats now include his first Spurs goal achieved in superb style in the belter in the 2-0 win against Chelsea in February 2023. Look, I'm going to say keep Skipp. I think he's a good squad player. Yeah. And he might be a type of player Ange likes. So for me, I'm going to either keep him or loan him, but don't sell him.
No, I'd keep him as well. Especially now he'd be buzzing after winning a trophy with England there. So, no, plus he might be, some of the winning mentality might rub off on the other players in the team.
Yeah.
So, no, I'd keep him. Definitely.
Ellie, where are you and Skippy? Keep, sell, or loan?
I'm on the fence with Skippy because he didn't really hit the ground running this season, but having said that, there is a player there and he is worth a try, but I think he won't be a first teamer, but I think I'll keep him and play him as a bench player rather than put him out on loan. Because what is he going to learn? He's going to learn more off Ange than any other coach, and he might not even get into the team where he goes as well, unless he drops down the league, but that's not going to benefit his career. So I think we'll keep him,
And Andy Lloyd says, too young to sell, still has the potential to become his own player. My own concern that will just become the next Marnie, Carroll, Mason, Livermore, Blank. That
could well be.
It's about that level as well.
But he has won a trophy. A lot of people have said, and he is a winner. And maybe winning that might spark something within the group. Who knows? Where we say we've got Jazz Fusion. In this country, Skippy is peanut butter, Kate.
Yeah.
There you go. Messi Football TV. All that's left to say is keep Skipp. He's worth his weight in his medal. I'm just shocked at the fan base sometimes. Look, I think the Skippy, when he went to Norwich for that season on loan, he had a
player of the year. He was player of the year.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. So look, if he's not going to get into the first team, I would loan him out. There is a player there, but we just have to wait and see. I mean, where do you go with this? Do Do you think loaning them out might be the best for his career? So
no. He's done the loan. He's done the loan system.
He's done his time.
Come here, just on a related topic. Remember we were saying yesterday or the day before that we didn't think Son was going to come back. He was going to fly straight to Australia. Did I see a picture of him at the training ground?
Yeah.
So he's back.
He's back. I think he is.
Yeah. No, I just thought that strange. We could have flown straight to Australia. Saved him. So, of course, mind you, he's hardly traveling economy class anyway, so I suppose he'll be all right.
No, he's staying first class luxury.
So, look, these are the salaries anyway. We're going with them. We've got a couple of questions in the chat, and then we will finish it off there. Look, Harry Kane costs on $200,000 a week. Philip Perisic, 178,000. We've got Hoiberg on 100,000. Eric Dier's on 85,000 a week. He's stealing 11. Ben Davies is on 80,000 a week. We've got Sanchez on 65,000 a week. We've got Ryan Sasson on 57,000 a week, and Oliver Skipp's on 40,000 a week. Philip, you worked out, what was it, 35 million?
Around 35 million, we could say, by selling the players that we talked about earlier off the wage bill. And the biggest one of those is, I haven't written down the breakdown of it, but Perisic would be the biggest. The ones we want to get rid of. But Ndombele is reckoned to be on the same money as Harry Kane, or very close to it.
Yeah.
But when he came, he was the biggest signing and also one of the biggest earners. So you talk about Eric Dier stealing a living. It's time Tanguy Ndombele started repaying some of that huge salary that he's been getting since he joined us. I know Napoli would have paid a portion of it, but still an awful lot of money, But just want to almost go. I did this question out earlier, and it's a bit related to what we've been talking about earlier about the players leaving. Who would you put in this category? Name one player that you can put in this category.
Yeah. Of the players Ange doesn't want, who might make him change his mind?
Who can persuade Ange that he's got a future at Tottenham out of those players we mentioned earlier?
I think Tanguy. Yeah.
I think he's the one. Yeah, he was the most obvious one. But even among the likes of Dier, Sanchez, we didn't even mention Sergei Reguilon or Brian Hill or any of those. I hear Brian Hill is looking very good in training, and I think he could be one. He's one that could look good this season. Again, maybe as a squad player. I mean, think about it. We're going to be so well served by wingers. We bring in the what do you call him? As Manor Solomon comes in this week. That's going to be another addition to the firepower up front, So we've got the attack's looking good. Now the defense needs work. I think that's basically what we need to say.
Yeah. What was the question, Philip?
No, we just have to think about of all the players Ange doesn't want, who might make him change his mind? Who might stay at the club when
I'm actually going to go for Tanguy.
Yeah, Ellie did the same.
I think so. Look, for me, and also just one of the things. This one we started with it, so we might as well finish with it.
Yeah.
Right. With Levy looking to turn down the second bid from Bayern Munich. Is this meeting with Ange crucial to the outcome of this transfer saga? Now, Philip, I'm going to start with you in this. Where are we with this now with Harry Kane? How crucial is this meeting this next week with Ange? I mean, could it be a case of, right, this is my vision, I want to go? Could it end up, he'll have to put out something, won't he, this week?
Well, it could also be Ange saying to him, Harry, this is my vision. Does it match your hopes and aspirations for this club? And if Ange is at a straight talking of Aussie, right? If he can persuade Harry Kane that what he has planned for the club is in line with what Harry Kane wants for the club, then they may well come to an agreement. Harry might say, I'm staying. So it is very important that Ange makes an impression. Now, he's already shown by the type of player we're trying to bring in, Maddison especially, that things are going to be different at Tottenham next season. And as Paul Merson, my old mate, said, Harry Kane could do irreparable damage next season with Maddison behind him. So that may well have a feeling, and may well have a bearing on Harry Kane's decision. You can go to Bayern Munich, lovely, great, win the Champions League, win the Bundesliga every year for the next 20 years. But Harry Kane loves Tottenham. And if he gets an inkling that things are going to improve at Tottenham, and there's every chance we'll go for a trophy next season, he might just look at his family situation. Do I really need the hassle of moving abroad? No, I'll stay here. That's what I hope happens. Whether it does or not, who knows?
On the other hand, is it a case of, well, Levy has led me down so many paths before, Ellie, that we've had so many false dawns. I'm 30. I haven't won a trophy. I want to win a trophy. Could this be the move, his last chance of a move to somewhere being successful?
No, I just feel his legacy is with Spurs. I love Harry Kane. I think he should stay with us. And I think Ange would be the catalyst to persuade him. Because once he speaks to Ange, he's such a brilliant motivator. And we've already put some blocks in to make ourselves better. Like Philip said, we've got Maddison. We've signed Porro. We've signed Kulu. We might let Perisic go, but that's another question. But we've just got to shore up that defence, show him our ambition, and make sure we get these other signings, and then make another statement signing. All right, we've got Manu Solomon as well, so everything's looking good to build a team that can actually win things, right? And if Harry believes in it, and Ange can persuade him that this is a new project, where we want to go forward with you. We don't want to lose you. Make him feel the love. And he might just go and sign that contract. He might
even something else as well? I'm just thinking of this now. Okay, some of the other players have been back a week now, right? You can be sure Harry Kane's been on the phone to them, or they've been on the phone to Harry Kane, telling him how good things are at Tottenham now. The training regimes are enjoyable, that there's no sour faces and given out by the manager from the sideline. All I could hear from those training videos, well done, great, brilliant, marvellous. I never heard that under Conte.
Yeah,
so if the boys are relying...
Look, the thing is for me, right, I'm going to come at a different angle, and I'm probably going to disagree with the pair of you on this. Look, I don't agree with this thing of, we Harry, stay, come on, we can win a trophy with us. So I don't agree with that argument. Also,
say something to them. They're not going to say we're going to be as bad as last season. They're going to have to be positive.
Yeah, but the problem is, Philip, if you're Harry Kane and you've been there, right, Levy has led you down so many paths before, okay? Now, we had this with the Man City thing, and I have to use what Mia says, that if he doesn't move, then he's not showing ambition. And I sort of get what Mia's saying on that. It's a case of, look, you can have as many personal accolades as you like, but winning a winner's medal is something to put in your cabinet, like a winning an FA Cup, a League Cup, or whatever, a Premier League title. Many players have played through the years and not won anything. Yeah. Alan Shearer turned down Man United to go back to Newcastle. He did win a Premier League with Blackburn Rovers, but that's the only thing he ever won. But for me, Harry Kane, if he's going to stay, then he has to show long commitment to us.
If he signs a contract, if he signs a 2 or 3 year contract, that is commitment.
Yeah,
that is.
But
commitment.
Can he
see? It.
But look,
it depends. It depends on what Ange himself. It depends how well Ange gets across to him.
Look, I think his head's been turned by Bayern. I think his head's been turned by Bayern Munich.
Well, then Bayern Munich could report Bayern for tapping up a player, because that's illegal. What they do. They've unsettled our player who's under contract. They shouldn't do it. And that's why it's even more important for Ange to stress that to Harry, that listen, your head's been turned by Bayern Munich. Have a look at what's going on here since you've been away on holidays, right? The players are all delighted with the way the training methods are going. They know now exactly what they're training for the next week or so, whereas under Conte they never knew that. That was very unsettling, right? You're not going to have the likes of Richarlison balled out in front of the rest of the squad like happened before. It's a new ball game at Tottenham now, and Harry, if he wants to buy into it, fair enough. If he does, show your commitment. If you don't, go off to Bayern Munich and good luck with you. But let him make a decision this week before they go away.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Australia.
Right? I keep saying that, and I'll say it again. He signs a new contract. He's got a year left in his deal. Are we going to go down the same road as we did in 2001 and let a player, one of our best players, go for nothing?
No. He has to commit or get sold. He has to commit.
Philip, if he doesn't commit, what do you do between now and the 1st of September?
You sell him.
Yeah.
You sell him. That's it. You sell him and get 100 million from him or close by. You don't wait till next July and let him walk off to Chelsea or Man United for nothing. That would be nearly as bad as Sol Campbell. in my opinion.
Yeah, and also, right, I'll raise this before in Irish Hotspur. Our club has to show ambition, right? It's not just Harry, if he moves, that he's showing ambition. If we show ambition to Harry, proper ambition, with sealing up our defence, getting those players in, getting another creative player in, getting another striker that can score 20 goals, show real ambition, act like a big club, because that's what we've been lacking. We don't act as a big club. We're a big club in name, but we're not acting. We've got to make sure that we get all those players in place so that we've got pre-season, and we've only got 3 days and we haven't got them in. That shows lack of ambition in my book. We should have had these players in.
But Ellie, you don't know what there could be restrictions put in place by the selling club. You don't know what's going on there. It's not easy to complete a transfer. There's a lot of things to be done.
Well, it's not like playing FIFA.
Other clubs seem to do it, don't they?
There's very little of it this season. How many of the big top 6 have signed players? United have signed Mason Mount. But Liverpool have signed one player.
They get their players in.
Yeah, but we've got our players in earlier this season than we ever did. But we haven't quite finished yet. We get 2 centre backs in this week before they go off on the tour. That'll be brilliant. Brilliant close season. But it just hasn't happened yet.
I hope so, because our club has got a history of not getting things over the line early enough and leaving it too late, and then sometimes leaving us without defenders. We should have really done that last year.
Look, on the Harry Kane thing, right? For me, Harry Kane's a legend of the club, but no player is bigger than the club. No player is bigger. And look, we've survived without. We were built after Jimmy Greaves. We were built after Glenn Hoddle. We were built after big players that left us before. So if Harry Kane signs a new contract, brilliant. We all want Harry to stay. He's our top goal scorer. He guarantees you 25 goals a season. Even Simon Jordan said it, Philip, and what we discussed last night. You can get 100 million, but you don't know what you're going to get for that 100 million if somebody comes in to replace Harry Kane. So, you got that to look at. But the other thing is he having people in his ear saying, look, Harry, you can do better, like a Charlie Kane or other people. Now, if he has met Bayern Munich's manager, it should be done by UEFA for tapping up. That is for certain. But I disagree with you what you said, Ellie, a little bit about getting players, about what you said about not acting like a big club. I sort of get what you're meaning by that. I really do. But you also, to act like a big club, you've got to perform you've got to give managers what they want. Now, we didn't do that under Mourinho. We sacked a manager for 6 days before a cup final, which is unforgivable. You don't do that before a cup final. Conte was Conte. We should have backed Poch when we had the chance. That's the thing. Then the last 4 years have been a waste. So we're now back with Ange. We give Ange what he wants. But there's no point keeping the player here, Ellie, if he doesn't want to stay here. So the question for you again is, and I did have, is what do you do with him? If he doesn't sign a new contract and he wants to stay at Tottenham, if he's turned down all moves so he can move to where he wants next summer, what do you do with him?
If he wants to stay, give him what he wants. Get him on that long-term contract. If he wants to leave, I think we should let him leave, because no club can survive with unhappy players. We saw it the last time. The first 6 games were so bad. It was like watching a novice Harry Kane who's just come out of the youth squad, the academy. That's what it was like. And his heart wasn't in it. So you can't keep an unhappy player. Right, so I just hope that the club get their act together and actually persuade him to stay, but only if he wants to stay.
Yeah, that's it. And we'll know more next week,
because the decision ultimately is his.
Ian S. So we'll just go through this. So Philip, you're still there. We're going to end off now. Jose would have won that final probably, and none of this would be happening. That is so true. Andrew Gay was still paying the price for the not backing Poch. And then Colin Turner, Harry should speak out, or maybe he will this week. Hopefully he will. Very quickly, just on 2 players. In disguise, won it with Eric Diabolical. That was a good one. And then Colin Turner. What about Spencer and Hill? Very quickly for me, both stay both in the squad. Keep them both, Ellie, very quickly.
Yeah, because they've both got a really good skill set. Especially, I want to see Spence, what he can offer us. You know, like if Emerson's not doing it, give the boy a chance.
You says if the top goal scorer is forgotten, will the same happen to the Premier League if it changes its name? Every fan talks about history, yet only acknowledges the Premier. That is so true, though. I think the first division has been forgotten. The many matches there. Right, Ellie. When are you on next with your ladies show?
Well, it was supposed to be tomorrow, but we had to change plans, so it's going to be Tuesday now. We're going to cover the Germany team. So obviously England beat Germany in the Euros. So let's see how they recover in the World Cup finals, in the World Cup tournament. We're not sure with Germany because their confidence has been dented by that loss. And but they've won back-to-back World Cups in 2003 and 2007. So they come with good pedigree. So it'll be a very good show. So I'm urging you all to tune in. And we had a very good showing this morning. So I was really happy with that. Yeah, so me and Kate, we've forged a good team, you know, and we're doing Spurs ladies as well. So Spurs ladies, as you know, we got a new manager, Robert Villaham. If you don't know, get to know, as Alex says. And then we signed Luana Buehler. So she's a Swiss international centre-back. So really good times. We just need to get a few more signings in, maybe 3 or 4. But I haven't heard anything, but I'll be looking out and researching, Dermot. So give everybody what they want on the women's side.
That is true. Well, listen, Philip, Ellie and Kate, what happened to Ricky Jackson? Well, I think you're going to go through that on Tuesday, won't you?
Yeah, we'll go not on Tuesday. We'll do it. I might, if I get any news, I'll cover it on Tuesday. Obviously, as a breaking news. But they're unsure at the club what they're going to do with Vicky. She might want to leave and go back to Liverpool. There's been some inkling in that way. But if she stays, she could be a very good assistant because she was assistant to Rianne Skinner. Yeah, so let's see what happens. Watch this space.
What she said. That's on Tuesday at 10:30. Philip, you and me are back tomorrow at 4:00 with Newsbeat as well. Yep. So we've got all the latest news. Hopefully a bit of news. And then, of course, me and Ellie and Mia are back on Tuesday with Newsbeat as well because Ellie's on in the morning. Look, there's a lot of new things happening with the channel this season. A few bits of news that will be broken in the next week or so. Behind the scenes, there's a lot of exciting developments channel-wise, what we're doing with it, what we're doing with the channel, where it's going, which way it's going. So it's going to be, I think before the season starts, there's going to be a few surprises, I think, what we're planning to do with the channel. New software, I'm really excited about the new scoreboard we're going to be using. And Philip, that gets its debut for the West Ham game, doesn't it?
Yeah, let's hope it gets lots of use. And the West Ham end stays at 0. Yeah.
And of course, tomorrow, the competition result is tomorrow, isn't it, Philip? So, Philip will, we will get a name out the hat, and we will get that prize off to that person.
I have all the names written down on a sheet here. I'm going to tear them up into strips and pick one out. I'll do it. It'll all be done live on TV, so we'll know exactly what.
We'll do that. Right, well, guys, thank you very much as well. And please, everyone, get over to Just a Girl Love Spurs as well and hit the subscription button on there. Ellie, anything you want to say before you leave? Any else you want to?
Just to wish everybody, a good weekend, whatever's left of it, and just keep on supporting the Spurs. Keep on tuning into THFC Till I Die and Ellie and Kate Spurs Women's Show. And obviously support Mia. She's doing great guns over at Spurs Between the Lines, and obviously Kate with Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. Support us all.
And before we go, we just want to say this is Ndombele when he sees Ange coming around the corner while he's eating a burger.
And with that, you don't follow
Come on. Yeah, on that bit of breaking news, come on, you Spurs in Ange Trust. We're back tomorrow at 4.
Come on, Ange.